The NFL draft is here. We're excited to get into it. Definitely excited. There's a lot of angles to look at in regards to what else going on here. It's your boy Gene Alp, another episode to talk about it all. What's going on with the Rams and Chargers. For tuning back in. Again, like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, share, however you show love. We appreciate it all. And then we're going to run this intro real quick and then get into it. There's a lot to talk about with all going on here in LA. So thank you all for tuning in. All right, so we're here. Thank you all for tuning in. Excited to talk about it all. As we said, the draft is upon us. Excited to talk about what's all going to be going on this next couple of days. And beyond that, as you guys see, there is going to be a lot of picks made by the Rams, as well as by the Chargers, that we'll talk about later on. And definitely a time that this team can decide how they want the future to go. The NFC is starting to clear out. We just saw recently that Aaron Rodgers officially was traded to the Jets, amongst other things. There are a lot of teams shuffling, and it's definitely a arms race across the league, but they continue to acquire talent for everybody. And the Rams were a team who a few years ago just won a title and seemed like it was up and up for them, but because of injuries and all of that, had fallen back to the bottom as they're a team that needs all 11 of these picks as we have now to really retool and get back to the elite company that we once were in. So without going into too much detail, because again, we're going to be blunt here. We casuals. We ain't going to sit here and throw a bunch of names at you and all that kind of stuff. But we do want to talk a little bit just about the Rams situation. Al, you think this is a chance for the Rams? You think the Rams with this draft and offseason should aim to rebuild and aim for a title run this year with Aaron Donald still in the building, or should be looking more long term in regards to how they want to get back to the top?
I think with the current construction, you should seek to retool, not necessarily full rebuild, because you have Aaron Donald, you have Stafford, who I believe aims to start the season. You have Kupp still. But I think through the draft, it should be addressing the offensive line issue, because that was a major thing for them this last year. And then a couple of the skill positions, as far as bringing in a receiver or two to go along with Cooper Kupp, because obviously you lost Robert Woods, you lost Odell Beckham, Allen Robinson did not work out. So bringing in some wide receiver prospects, and then as well, they have a couple issues to address on the defensive side with trades having been made, and I believe Wagner having gone back to Seattle. So they have a couple holes to fill there. And I think they should seek to address those in the draft, but not full rebuild. If you're going to be trotting out Matthew Stafford and Kupp still, like, I don't think you should be going for full rebuild. If you're going rebuild, I would go probably with a bridge quarterback of some kind. But yeah, I think they should retool.
Yeah, well, keeping with having those core guys still there, at least some of them. We talked about how some of that core was expendable, and they did just that. Jalen Ramsey's now on the Dolphins, amongst others that you already mentioned. But still having Aaron Donald there, still having Stafford there, and Cooper Kupp, that those three are out, as we already saw, championship level players, and deserve to make another push there at least one more time. So I think if they make the right moves here with the 11 picks, as I pointed to already, they can put themselves in position to do so. Again, as you pointed out, I agree with all that you said about linemen and receivers and all of that. I hope they make the right decision. Beyond that, if they do make the right choices, how soon do you think this team can be back in the league company? As we see, the NFC at least potentially is wide open for a team like them to jump right back up to the top.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there. The NFC being wide open just got even weaker with Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay. No disrespect to Jordan Love. We'll see what he can do this year.
we shall see.
But yeah, I mean, like there's a clear top two with the 49ers and the Eagles. And then it's kind of up for grabs completely, to be honest. I don't really see a third definitive team after them. The Cowboys continue to kind of get in their own way once it comes playoff time. So that's kind of what you should expect there. The Giants, I don't feel like got marketably better, just like some of the playoff teams from last year. I don't think they're definitively the third best team or whatever. So why couldn't it be the Rams if you bring the right pieces in to fill out this roster?
Yeah, I definitely agree there. There's plenty of room for them to do so. I think it's not even necessarily being elite in regards to regular season. I think there will be teams again that jump out early. We're going to see more of that, as you kind of pointed out already. The Cowboys and maybe even the Vikings again jump out and have very, very good regular seasons. If the Rams can just get in playoff contention, which they were far from this year, if they can just get in the mix, as we saw in the AFC last year, with teams like the Jaguars upsetting the Chargers, we'll get into, and things of that nature. Just get into the playoffs, and anything can be possible. And I think they could be potentially in position to make a sneaky run from wherever they're at. So yeah, with the AFC being open, with this being the case, I do think the Rams should try to do their best to get back into some sort of competitive position. So yeah, we'll definitely shall see how that plays out. Any other note on the Rams you want to make real quick, or you want to jump over to the Chargers now?
I guess kind of a question. Do we know what their running back situation is like? I'm not sure what their contracts look like, but Akers has been in and out of injury. He was healthy to end the season. I'm not sure if his contract is up. And then after that, it was like Darrell Henderson. But that might be another thing that they want to address.
I know what his name Williams emerged at the end of the season, and he was their high draft pick who they liked and wanted to see. So potentially he could lead the way there. Akers even showed signs of life again once he got reemerged into the mix. So they possibly could keep that group and just make, with now some continuity, they could be better in position to carry the load for them over there. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. There are some decent running backs in this draft of what I've seen others say. So if they want to grab one, again, when you have 11 picks, you have room to go ahead and grab an extra player in a certain position that you may not have if you only had the usual allotted picks. So they very well may grab a running back late round, or wherever the case. And yeah, we'll see. But yeah, there's room to improve across this whole roster. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I think like we've talked about before with Sean McVay, and then like the rumors that he like might retire, and same with Aaron Donald too. But I think, I mean, McVay is still a young head coach. Obviously, he's proved that he can win a title. But I think he still believes that like he has more left in the tank to potentially grab another one. So I don't think that he would be one to want to go into a rebuilding mode. I think while having the Kupp and Stafford connection there on offense, I think he's going to want to retool as well. So I feel like that should be the focus. Had they, I don't know, retained Baker Mayfield and he was going to be the starter or whatever, then I could understand going for rebuild mode. But yeah, I think they're going to be playing to compete in this NFC that is wide open, as we said.
Yeah, with the window there, again, as you pointed out, we've been pointing out this whole time, I definitely could see this team positioning themselves to quietly make a serious run at the end of the season. So yeah, definitely something we're going to keep our eyes on. Excited for Rams football here. Also excited for the Chargers, to be honest. Though they have let us down in some regards and being frustrated about them being very Clipper-like. We'll talk about the Clippers more so later on. But them always finding a way to come up just short, though. We'll see what could come of them this next season. And they are definitely in position to potentially make a good run. In regards to this draft, let me pull this up for them real quick. They got, 7 picks there. Definitely could retool in some positions. The line, they did re-sign a couple of guys, but they all definitely could add some youth to that lineup as well as some receivers potentially and beyond. There's plenty of room across the board for them to make moves. They went and signed Eric Kendricks, who's a really good linebacker this offseason, was definitely appreciated. Austin Eckler's situation right now. He said he wanted to trade because they couldn't come to terms with him in regards to a contract that he wanted. So we'll see how that plays out. So there are some options here for this Chargers squad to retool properly around their young star here in Justin Herbert with the hair flowing as always there as they love. So we'll see what the Chargers squad does. But again, to our point about the Rams and then the conferences and all of that, we pointed out a lot of this talent is now moving towards the AFC. The Ravens added Odell. The Dolphins added Jalen, as we pointed out. The Jets are emerging, and they just added A-Rod, as we pointed out as well. The Raiders added Jimmy G, if you want to even point that into the
mix. Well, the Broncos added Sean Payton. That's probably a bigger story in that division.
There's teams all up and down this conference that can make a lot of pushes. The Browns have another year with Redacted as their quarterback.
We're still going with Redacted.
Just for jokes, just for jokes.
Okay.
But yeah, just to say that there's a lot of talent all up and down the AFC. So with that being the case, we saw the Chargers as a rising team in the AFC. Is that still the case here, or is it possible that they start falling with how the AFC is shaping up?
It's tough because Kansas City is still the cream of the crop in that division,
of course,
and then it's gonna be competitive. I think it's gonna be more competitive than it was expected to be last year. So the Chargers aren't really a definitive number 2 in that division alone to me. Like I think the Broncos potentially with the overhaul with Sean Payton and getting guys healthy once again, like Javonte Williams. I think they can have a better season because that defense is already elite. It's just they couldn't not figure out the offense all season.
Correct.
Until like late couple weeks in the season. So yeah, I think the Chargers are going to be concerned about their division first and foremost.
Right.
But just the full scope of the AFC, the AFC East is loaded. And the AFC North is going to be hotly contested as well. We don't know what the situation will be with Lamar yet still, but the Bengals still one of the best teams in the league. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. I can't say, like, if you're a Chargers fan, I can't say that you're super like optimistic that you can make a deep playoff run. I think getting back to the playoffs should be the goal for sure.
Right.
And just giving yourself a shot. Like once you're there, like you said, like you have a shot to potentially make a run if all things are clicking. So.
They were in the playoffs and up in the playoffs and blew their opportunities. So opportunities like that shouldn't be taken lightly. And though they look promising, they can't just use that and say, okay, we'll be right back there. We saw prior to that how hard it was for them even to get to the playoffs, as they were moments away from making it 2 years ago as well. So yeah, they definitely want to make sure they continue to be on the attack. I think your point about looking just in their division will be the right move. It's a lot easier just to look at the 3 teams that are around you than to look at all 15 that may be up there, because there's a lot of talent all up and down that conference there. So just focus on the Raiders, who I think are may be trying to make a push in some kind of regard, but they can be beaten out. The Broncos are trying to figure out the situation. So yeah, if you just stay ahead of those 2, the rest could play out potentially in your favor. So yeah, definitely am intrigued by what's going to go on with them. And yeah, again, to the draft, which is coming up. Yeah, they got a few picks here that definitely could help them in doing so. So yeah, definitely want to keep our eyes on that. Any other note for the Chargers you want to look at real quick?
I was going to say kind of for both teams, it's my UCLA boy, but at the running back position, Zach Charbonnet, I think could be a nice pick up, especially for the Chargers if they're not going to retain or if they're going to trade Austin Eckler, because like they're looking for more of a bell cow type back. Like Eckler is more of like an elite change of pace back and like elite pass catching back. But you saw them struggle with the lead in the playoffs with Austin Eckler to gain yardage to move the chains and ended up blowing that lead in the playoffs to the Jaguars.
Was that because of Eckler or because of the play calling?
I maybe a little bit of both, but like when they went to the run, like they just could not get 3 yards like on a carry. Like it was rough sledding for them, and that's when you want to go to some of the run. Like to your point about the play calling, you could have maybe tried to mix it up a little bit more,
right?
But like when they did go the run, they could not get any ground. So I think adding in a running back, not necessarily has to be Charbonnet, but a running back that can be more of your 2 down back kind of thing. And Eckler is more of the 3rd down guy or whatever. I don't know. But bringing in a guy that can get you 3-4 yards a carry and not have to be concerned about that. Like retaining a lead is crucial for especially the Chargers in a playoff game, who continue to get in their own way at times in the postseason. So I think another running back could be a useful addition for them, along with, as you said, receivers. But yeah.
Definitely could see that. It could be a nice addition. I'll put my hate to the side and acknowledge that he definitely is a great running back there. And a player like him or others that are in similar style definitely would be appreciated by the Chargers and could be useful as they try to figure out their echo situation. So definitely good things to pay attention to there. And the last thing, going back to this, just showing the teams again, you have Herbert's not top 5 on your tag there on your name. Is Herbert even top 5 in the AFC right now? Where do you rank Herbert amongst QBs at the moment?
That's a good question because I think a lot of the top 5 is in the AFC. I think he is top 5 in the AFC. Because like just off the top of my head, it's Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and then like Herbert is probably like right on the cusp. Like he's probably 6 for me. So if you take out Jalen Hurts, then yeah, he's top 5 in the AFC. You say who?
You said Josh Allen also?
I did. I said Josh Allen.
Okay.
And he's AFC too. So yeah. I think Herbert is 5 in the AFC, but it's close with him and Lawrence. Like I could make an argument for Lawrence right above him as the 5th guy.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like how you put that. Just wanted to poke at your tag there. You stuck that in. I want to make sure I acknowledge it for guy here. So yeah, definitely good things here. Definitely gonna keep our eye on all this as things go along. Excited for the draft and what may come of it. We'll keep some of an eye on it. There's NBA playoffs going on, so might not be watching too in depth, but I'll have the ticker on and pay attention to that as it goes across the screen like you have on here. But yeah, definitely good things to keep our eyes on. Excited for football coming back this season. We'll get more into all of that as the season approaches. We'll bring guests on to educate us a little bit more. As we said, we be casual, but we're open to asking questions and all of that, and see and to be educated a little bit about the things that are going on across the league. So yeah, definitely things to keep our eyes on. Definitely make more official predictions as things get closer. But as you can already see, just looking at the teams already and just thinking about the moves that are made, there's a lot of fun things that can be coming this year, and excited to get into it. So good stuff there. Excited to talk about it all more as it approaches. Yeah, that's really the last note I had about the draft so far. Any last words, or is that it for you, Alec?
I think that's it. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about the QBs in this draft for sure. And I mean, that's usually the discussion a lot of the times, especially about the first round, because we've got several QBs who are going to be in this draft. And it seems like the top pick is constantly shuffling. The top QB pick is constantly shuffling.
Yeah.
At the current moment, and there's different drawbacks for different ones. Like some people believe that Richardson's raw. Some people believe Bryce Young's a little bit too small. Will Levis, the questions about his accuracy and whatnot. But
call CJ Stroud like arrogant, like he didn't show up to the Manning camp, and that was the end of the world. Like, bro.
So yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see where some of these top QBs land in this draft, because it seems like it's heavily debated day to day, and it's constantly shuffling where people view these guys as being NFL prospects long term. So interesting to see where they land.
The Chargers are set, so I won't use them. But for the Rams, who have Stafford, but talking about rebuilding, could potentially look at a QB. And let's move them up to the number 1 pick for that, just for hypothetically speaking. If the Rams are the first pick in the draft and had to go for a quarterback, which of these guys would you take?
I feel like Bryce would be the guy.
Okay.
I feel like Bryce has been the most consistent of these guys.
Sure.
I can't go with Levis because he puts mayonnaise in coffee. Like that's just unforgivable. That's that Caucasian in him. But I love Anthony Richardson. He's a great prospect, and like I think with more experience, because he's only played like a season or two,
like a season and a half, something like that.
Yeah. So I think with more experience, and if there was a guy like that they drafted to sit behind a guy like Stafford or whatever, I think that would be great for him and his development, and I think he could be a really great quarterback in this league for a while. So I think Bryce Young and Richardson are the ones that stand out the most to me. I think they're all good in their own right, but those two for me.
Immediately, I think Young or Stroud are the top two. Though I do see the potential of Anthony Richardson as great as he may be. I see what Henry Hooker could provide as someone who may actually end up being a Ram, as I've seen some people allude to. I think I see him as a guy that could be a great backup for Stafford and a quick replacement for him down the line. So I do see what they can provide. Again, I won't talk about Will Levis. So for whatever reason, I just don't like him. So, sorry, bro.
Whatever reason, yeah.
Whatever reason, I'm just gonna leave him out. But yeah, for the rest of those guys, I really like what Stroud and Bryce Young provide. And yeah, that they seem like they were the top dogs the whole year long. And then narratives started. And now they've started to bounce around and may not even be top 3, top 5 picks for whatever reason. So yeah, I as a Rams fan would love to see either of those in here for the hypothetical speaking. And yeah, definitely think those two are the top guys of this group, which is appears to be very solid class here, and hopefully they actually pan out to be so. So yeah, definitely keep our eyes on that amongst other things. And yeah, there's a lot of other things to get into in regards to the NFL as we go along. We're here talking about LA sports. We're Rams and Chargers heavy now as we continue to go forward. I will note, as I've noted before, for those that have been on the show for some time now, y'all know my Ravens and all of that. Excited for Odell. We'll see what goes on with Lamar. We'll talk about that another day, but there'll be fun things going on here in LA, and we'll keep our eyes on all of it. So yeah, again, just good things going on here with the draft and football as we go along. We'll get more into the betting side of things as Zach gets closer when it's time to put some money down for some parlays and all of that. But for now, yeah, just excited to watch the draft and all of that. So yeah, that'll do it for now. Appreciate y'all. We'll see how these playoffs goes. We're still in the middle of that, and excited to keep our eyes on that and react to it all. And yeah, that'll be it for today, y'all. Thank you again for tuning in. Continue to like, rate, subscribe, comment, share. How you show love, we definitely appreciate it. Go back and check out our review of Air that we just posted as well. Definitely was a fun one. We talked about that movie coming out. We'll have more bonus episodes for you guys, as well as our content that we usually do going forward. So yeah, good stuff across the board. And yeah, long outro, but we'll see y'all again later, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Doses.